Beautiful. Choir of Angels.
Ah, there's a fuzz on, Dan.
There is a fuzz on. Hey guys, welcome to That Pedal Show. Dan here.
Mick here, hello.
So, we saw this a little while ago and I was absolutely fascinated by it, and I thought, well, let's do a show on vibes, and because you did a show on vibes previously.
Yes, Dan was ill about a year or so
Yeah.
ago. In fact, I think it was about a year ago, wasn't it?
Was it really?
Yeah, and a lot of people... So we do tons of videos about Drive on That Pedal Show, and they're very popular. And pretty much since we've started, you guys have been saying, please, please, please do a show on vibes. Mm-hmm. And let's explain what a vibe is, shall we?
Yes. In the simplest terms, a vibe is a phaser. It's a 4-stage phaser. The way that the vibe achieves the modulation is done with light-dependent resistors and a little pulsating bulb. So that light pulses against the resistor, and that's what changes the resistor in the circuit with the capacitor that does the phasing. It's a frequency-dependent time shift, right? Nah. So, but all that means is that what gives the vibe that particular sound is the way that it achieves the modulation using those photocells, and that really is basically the difference between that and a phaser. They are pretty much very similar.
And the confusion arises because it's vibe. People think vibrato, and vibrato is something different. Vibrato is a pitch modulation, and if you want to see our show on vibrato, it was 2 or 3 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. We did a show on vibrato. It was called 4 Fabulous Vibratos, I think. So
yeah. 3 people watched it.
Yeah, 3, at least 3. Yeah, so check that out. Difference between vibe and vibrato. Vibe in this context is so called because of the Uni-Vibe.
Exactly.
Which was the first vibe made famous by
Sir Gilmour Hendrix.
Yeah, some Gilmour of Hendrix and Robin Trower.
Robin Trower, of course.
I think is pretty, and there's some key differences in how they use them. So
and Sir Davy G.
Yeah, well, he didn't use it for very long, did he?
No, but it made a real impact, though.
Because I think there's a lot of stuff where you hear what you think is a Uni-Vibe and it's actually a Leslie. I think.
Okay.
So obviously all the people from Gilmourish.com and David Gilmour fans will be going, no, you've got that completely wrong. But word of warning, when listening to David Gilmour, don't assume it's a Uni-Vibe. It may well be a Leslie.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
of course Phase 90 as well.
Of course.
Which he was massively into.
Yeah.
Was it the Phase 90?
It was the Phase 90, yes.
Yeah.
And a shout out to the guys from Gilmourish.com.
Yeah.
It's a great site for everything Dave Gilmour.
David
G.
Yeah.
Everything David G. Go and check out Gilmourish.com because it's fantastic.
It's beyond fantastic.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, so we've got a bunch of vibes, including the NuVibe, and the amps we're using today. We've got the Victory and the Super Reverb together. Michael, if you wouldn't mind having Schwang. Okay.
That was an example of what happens when you put the amps in and out of phase with one another. Dan wasn't quite sure which was the right way round. We had a listen. We decided. As an interesting tangent here, we have all the trouble in the world getting the phase of the Super right, don't we?
Yes.
This is 4 10-inch speakers, 2 12s in the Victory cab, and get it to all be in phase, which of course will also be dependent on where you're stood in the room.
It is, but so with the amplifiers together, with the same distance between them, the phases should be relative. The thing is though with the 10-inch speakers and the 12-inch speakers, I mean, there's a reason for it, but I always have to double check using the combination of 10-inch and 12-inch speakers together. It's really obvious. When you're using 10-inch speakers and 12-inch speakers, it can be a bit of a challenge. But also, it's rarely 100% in phase or 100% out of phase.
Exactly.
You know, it's just getting them, you know, mostly in phase. But I love that.
Quite often when I'm doing the audio after the show, go home and mix the audio, I'll always put one of the amps the other way around with the phase in Logic, just to see, because it also has a phase relationship with the XY mic that's on that camera. Yes, there is a behind the scenes video coming up soon. Anyway, we digress.
Okay, so that's the sound of two amplifiers. We also have the Analogman fuzz face. Now, if you would just describe this fuzz, because this is what sort of transistors is he using in this one?
Okay, so the Analogman makes the sun face, which is basically a fuzz face type circuit, and it comes with various different types of transistors. So Jimmy fans will know that Hendrix's original fuzz face was germanium. He then later moved on to a silicon transistor, and I guess they were wildly modded and changed and all the rest of it. And so the sun face comes in varying versions of transistor. This is a sorry, my brain's just going. I know you can see it on the screen. I can't see it from here. It's a BC183, which is a silicon.
And it sounds thusly.
Interesting thing about fuzz faces. Guitar turned down, loads of noise. Guitar turned up a little bit, no noise. I have no idea. Someone out there will know. You'll probably know. Anyway.
That's so good.
It's such a mad thank you. It's such a mad transition from, particularly on a Strat, because it reacts so sensitively to the Strat volume pot, where you've got clean, 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 and then it just goes bang. Okay, so this, as some of you will know, this is my Mexican 60s 68 Stratocaster. It was basically a Jimmy Strat before they got the license to do the Jimmy Strat. Since the last time you've seen it, it has new pickups. It's got some Fender Ancho Poblano pickups, which are entirely the wrong pickups for this guitar, but I put them in there. I just want to put them in there to see what it sounds like. And also, I have to say a massive thank you to Anmol Singh, my friend from India, who sent me a Callahan bridge unit. Now, it literally all went in early yesterday morning, so the guitar is still kind of going, It's like it's had a hip transplant, and it's still, so it's all over the place tuning wise, so I apologise for that. Anyway, thank you very much, Anmol. That's just beyond kind of you to do that bridge. But yes, it is vastly improved on where it was before. There's going to be some bare knuckle pickups, grey bottom 65 proper mid 60s pickups that will go in it eventually, but I just wanted to hear what these like. These are more kind of 50s. They're not the right thing for
that particular instrument.
Yeah, anyway, so yes, that's what we're using today. And back to the point, fuzz face, single coil pickups, clean, clean, clean.
Rock, as opposed to the humbucker. Doesn't clean up. That's so funny. It doesn't clean up the same way with the Strat. The impedances are all different. And
still sounds awesome though.
It does sound great. It's fabulous. I'm gonna have to get one of those because I do have another Analogman Sunface, an NKT one, but I love that sound is really singing and beautiful.
It's ace.
Beautiful.
In
Okay.
context, it's ace. Anyway, lest we spend weeks on that.
Okay, so the sound of a...
Oh, what's that over there, Dan?
Oh, hello. Hello, ladies. So good.
This guitar's in E flat, by the way. That's the D&M Drive, which is coming out, which everybody hopefully knows about. This still isn't the final production one. There's some jiggery pokery to do. The sound will be exactly the same, but yeah. Anyway, so we're just putting it on the board. We're having listened to it, just making sure that we love it as much as we think we love it.
And we love it. It's just fantastic. Okay, so back to the point.
Yes.
Right, so this...
What are we, 20 minutes in?
20 minutes in, we haven't
Yes!
even... Have we heard of...
Well, actually, we're still recovering from last week's video with Joey Landreth. For anyone who watched it, it's kind of... It was a pivotal moment. We won't talk about it too much, but we're both recovering from that. So just bear with us.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all... worlds have been aligned. And
smashed to pieces.
Smashed to pieces, yeah, absolutely. Okay, so the sound of a vibe pedal. It's that pulse. That's the main thing with that vibe, is that throb.
Cease it.
And the funny thing about it was that when you look at these circuits, they're so similar, but the sound difference in them is huge.
What, between these pedals that we have, you mean?
Yeah. So that's the Deja Vibe. Our dear friend Dave Gilmour. Where's the horn?
Oh, where is the horn? In fact, Joey Landreth, Dave Kilminster. Have you mentioned anyone else yet?
We mentioned David G, but I don't know him.
No, I don't know. No, actually, he phoned me up one day.
Did he?
On Guitarist. This is no word of a lie. If we were doing a thing, this is years and years ago. Sorry, I'll make this quick, I promise. And the phone rings, and I pick up the phone, and he's like, "Oh, hi, yeah, Mick, it's David Gilmour." And I'm like, I used a swear word. Because we used to phone each other up in the office. So Neville, who was my boss at the time, he would phone me up and go, "Oh, hello, yes, it's Jimmy Clapton." And he'd do that quite regularly. So the phone rings, "Hi, is that Mick?" "Yeah, it's David Gilmour." I'm like, "Off, Nev, and leave me alone." He's like, no, Mick, it really is David Gilmour." I'm like, "Yeah, get out of here." It's true story.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And bless him, he was responding to a... we'd put out a bunch of requests. We were doing the best guitar solos ever, and I think comfortably number one. I think he came number one. And we were after a quote from him to, whatever. Anyway, so perhaps David Gilmour, kind of a
part,
given that I have actually spoken to him once.
That's so cool. Very good. Okay, so the Deja Vibe. Now this is when I did the board for Dave Kilminster. That was on there, and it's his favourite vibe.
It's mine. I paid cash money for that and bought that because cash money, real English pounds converted into American dollars. It's an amazing thing. They put it on a plane, send it across. No, that's mine, and I like it very much.
Okay, so yeah, and that's a classic sounding vibe. It's such a close replica of the original Uni-Vibe.
Because there was not so long ago, there was a huge issue with the photo resistors, right? Because they didn't pass RoHS
compliance. Yes.
So they were illegal because, as everyone knows, when you finish with your effects pedal, you just throw it in the bin, right? And all those nasty minerals go to the ground.
Yeah. It's got arsenic and cadmium and stuff in there.
All the good stuff.
All the good stuff.
Actually, this is a good opportunity here to show us the difference between chorus and vibrato modes on a vibrato.
Oh, okay, all right.
So you hear the difference between the straight pitch modulation and then when the phasing comes in as well.
Yeah, it's interesting that they called it chorus. Really, a chorus is two signals in phase, one modulating. But with the vibe pedal, they still mark chorus, but it goes into, it's the difference between a vibrato and a phaser.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so it's not chorus at all?
It's not a chorus at all.
But that's
not in the slightest, but they call it chorus.
Presumably because that's what it was called on...
Exactly.
Okay.
That's what it's called here.
Yeah.
It's a vibrato.
Other thing just to say about the Deja Vibe, it's got vintage and modern modes. I've never really understood what they do. Shall we hear them?
Yeah, so the vintage has a smaller frequency range, the modern is a larger frequency range.
Try that.
Yep.
That explains why I always use it in modern mode, because I like the more of it. Yeah, okay, I hadn't realised that.
Cool, so hear that with the fuzz.
So that's the Deja Vibe.
That's the Deja Vibe.
Let's move along.
Okay, let's do the MXR.
So I think MXR Dunlop still own the trademark to Uni-Vibe, I think.
Do they?
Well, that's called a Uni-Vibe, isn't it? It is indeed.
It is?
Yes.
Okay. Right, there
You
we
might
go.
remember that for many years Dunlop made the Uni-Vibe, which was the silver pedal, and also the Rotor Vibe, which is still made, which is the red pedal with the treadle on top.
I do really, really like that red pedal.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Okay, so this is the MXR.
Cool.
Coolio!
There seems to be more range of
throb.
We need to come up with a technical term for that, don't we? Tweakery. More range. And what does the vibe button do?
So the vibe button switches between the chorus and the vibrato mode. So. So you just hear the modulation there,
Yep.
and then that's when the other side's mixed in.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
One is feeling sick, the other one is actually being sick.
There you go.
Isn't it? Does that work?
Okay, so we've got this one. This is my old Mojo Vibe.
This is your favourite, isn't it?
This is my favourite.
Yeah.
This, Bob Sweet, God rest his soul, this was in the era that he made this.
Yeah.
And then, but they're still being made, his family's still making them.
Okay.
But years ago, I did a little shootout. I had a whole bunch of them and a real one. And for me, I love this one. I'll tell you what I like about it. If you play... It's soupy. It's soupy.
It's nice. Can you make
Really
the Deja
lovely.
Vibe sound like that out of
Let's have a
interest?
go.
Because now I'm a little bit jealous. Not quite as soupy.
Not quite as soupy.
I think there might be an internal trim pot on the Deja Vibe.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. There's some dip switches on the Mojo Vibe, and there is actually, I think there is a trim pot in there as well. And I have gone and tinkered and made it extra soupy. Riveting.
Okay, I've just consulted the internet, found the user manual, and yes, it does have an internal trim pot which adjusts the amount of current going to the LDR,
Nice.
I think.
Okay.
So Fulltone says you shouldn't adjust it unless you know what you're doing.
Just the amount of current going to the bulb.
I think so.
Yeah, yeah.
Which means I shouldn't adjust it.
Okay.
But I guess that means you can have it more...
But it's fascinating. If you look at these two circuits, they're pretty much identical.
Yeah.
You know, but it is amazing. And that's what I love about pedals. Just the tiniest
Do you
little
love
change.
pedals?
I have a penchant for the little boxes of joy, but you know, they are definitely a different character.
Yeah.
And you know, but for me, I really love the Mojo Vibe. It's really cool. Okay, so we've done those three. I'll have a look at the NuVibe. This is fascinating. So if you just play for us. Didn't hear this with a fuzz. Hang on.
Stop that. guitar, mate.
Ugh!
I literally.
I broke it. I broke it at the
Is this a new thing for you?
Yeah.
Over?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I just thought I'd give it a go.
Nice.
I don't know yet.
Like it?
What do you think?
Break strings more often.
Really?
Okay, right. I think time for another guitar down.
Okay, that's hilarious. All right.
So I think that was our first ever string break on that pedal show.
Awesome.
And I see you have a Telecaster now. Let's hear that then, seeing as... He's been to jazz school again.
Dave Gilmour dropped in last week and he gave me a lesson. Man, it was amazing.
You forgot it all?
Yep, pretty much. Okay,
Sorry,
well played, sir.
You set him up.
Well played,
I'll
sir.
knock him down.
Well played. Okay, right. NuVibe.
Yes.
Now, have a go at this. Let's just hear the difference between a fuzz and an overdrive pedal with a vibe.
Nice, gives it a bit more definition, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's beautiful.
That's particularly nice. Drive pedal down.
It is particularly nice. The thing with the fuzz bass is there's an impedance issue on both the input and the output.
Yeah.
All right. The output of the everyone knows that the impedance on the input of the fuzz face is really sensitive, but also the output, the impedance is quite high. So a lot of people notice when they kick in a delay or something after a fuzz face, all of a sudden their tone gets really trebly.
Yeah.
It's because you're actually putting a buffer then after the fuzz face, and it's the same thing with any pedal when you kick it on. The top end goes crazy.
I was noticing that actually when we had the fuzz on earlier, and we will put the fuzz after the vibe in a minute, which we will get to. But I was noticing that there was kind of a sibilancy thing up top. Is that why, when we were messing around with Joey last week, he put an overdrive pedal after his fuzz?
Yes.
Quite often, and it sounded really cool.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah. So they're just very, very sensitive things. They're amazing things, and I love them dearly. But very sensitive to changing of the impedances. Okay, so that's the NuVibe. Now, obviously, what is very, very cool about this is that you can change the shape of the wave. So if you play,
So So at the moment, the pedal is controlling speed.
Exactly.
And that's all it does?
That's all it does.
Right.
I think there are a number of other ones here. I think the Deja Vibe, the Mojo Vibe, you can also the Monterey Vibe, which we will get to. You can also control the...
Don't think you can with the Deja Vibe.
Don't you? Can't you?
No.
Ah, denied. Okay. But certainly can with the Mojo Vibe and the Monterey, that you can use an expression pedal to control the speed. The reason being is, with the original Uni-Vibe, that's how you change the speed. You had the pedal on that little DIN plug that plugged in the back, and you would change the speed. You see Jimmy when he's using it.
I was going to say, if you search on Google for pictures of Jimi Hendrix playing live, you'll see his first face. I think the Octavia might have gone by then, but
right.
Anyway, wah-wah, first face, sometimes an Octavia and Uni-Vibe, and then another pedal. So if you see two pedals at Jimmy's feet, for anyone who doesn't know, that's what that is. One is the wah-wah, one is the Uni-Vibe.
Because the Uni-Vibe was an attempt to emulate a rotating speaker, and with the Leslie cabinets, that's how you changed. You know, the organ players, they would be constantly changing the speed of the rotor, the horn. So anyway, what's really great about this is that you can actually change the wave shape. So if you just play for us.
I don't know if it's my eyes deceiving me, but those LEDs do seem to suggest what it is actually doing.
Yeah. Exactly.
So that's frequencies, is it? Bass to treble?
No, it's just the shape of the wave.
Yep, fine. I'm going to pretend I understand. Nod and play this chord again.
That's very cool.
It's wobbly.
It is wobbly. There's a lot of mega wobble.
It's big too.
It's it's big, Jimmy. So if I go from that to the Mojo. Yeah, so obviously that's very traditional. It's cool though.
Hear that with a bit of drive to begin with.
It's nice.
Can I hear the difference between this with fuzz and that with fuzz?
Certainly. So.
It's quieter. There's no post gain or something on, is there?
No.
Yeah, it drops a bit of level there. I'm not quite sure why that is. Maybe there's an internal trim pot or something that we don't know about. But having this available, can I have a go with that?
Cool.
Yeah, I think for adding a bit of passion in there.
Passion.
Cool.
Yeah, it's very good. Okay.
I think I may have kicked the board off kilter there a little bit. Right, so Monterey, let's do the Monterey just quickly. So for anyone who's not aware, Robert Keeley, who builds our lovely D&M Drive, also makes these great pedals called workstations. And in the workstations there are various effects. So there's a delay workstation, there's a mod workstation, there's a tone workstation which has got a compressor, a drive and maybe a delay, can't remember.
We need to get those.
We do need to get them. They're very cool. So as you may have picked up by now, Dan and I aren't huge fans of digital multi-effects. And this is kind of an approach to multi-effects, which is analog circuits with a bit of digital control and also some digital effects as well, in a really usable package that you can use in a pedal board format, which kind of makes sense.
Yep. Very cool.
To us anyway. And the Monterey is one of those, obviously based on a certain Mr. Hendrix, because it has, what does it have? Vibe, wah, and it's got rotary speaker and vibe. That's interesting.
Okay.
And fuzz.
Right.
So there's obviously two modes to the vibrato.
All right.
Let's give it a listen. play too much Jimmy, really. Octave down.
That is, yeah.
It's got that fizzy thing happening on top.
Yeah, well, even more of that. There you go.
Very cool. For anyone screaming, what was that tune you were playing? Guitar Player, I think it was, used to give away flexi discs.
Oh, I remember those.
Remember those?
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
the magazine. Hello, Mike Melenda. If you ever watch this video, you may or you may not. Mike's the editor-in-chief of Guitar Player. Lovely, lovely chap. Anyway, they used to give away the flexi discs, and there was one with Paul Gilbert and Billy Sheehan. And it was called Screamin' Bluesomania. It kind of went... Woo! And they double that. But played by, played by Paul Gilbert. So not fluffed, basically.
You're a big Paul Gilbert fan, aren't you?
I love Paul Gilbert.
I've never met him. I've come close to meeting him at a couple of shows, and but I'd love to meet him because that first Mr. Big album. There's some amazing guitar playing on that. Astonishing.
I'm not massively into my technical guitar players. He, for me, stands absolutely head and shoulders above everybody.
Right.
Because he does it with fun.
Yeah. Okay.
Everything he does. Best thing Paul Gilbert ever said to me. Sorry, massive. We're about to take his picture with Tom Morello on the cover of Guitarist magazine. Sorry, this has been a horrible name drop. And Paul comes up and he goes, "Hey, do you mind if I wear my purple spacesuit?" I'm like, no. Put it on.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
He's just the coolest guy. Anyway, sorry.
Oh, man.
Get all teary about Paul Gilbert because he's so brilliant. So in that pedal, galloping back to the point, there's an auto wire in there as well, isn't there?
Yes, there is.
Can we have a listen to that?
Yep.
Remember Grange Hill? Oh no, because you were in Australia.
Yes.
I never realised it was quite so bluesy. Sorry, Simon's absolutely losing it behind the camera as I'm getting every other note wrong. I'd like to apologise to Todd Carty, all the cast of Grange Hill, who went on to be in EastEnders, and then they all went on to be in The Bill.
What's that?
That's EastEnders.
Oh, okay.
Anyone can fall in love. My only other theme...
We've gone down a dark
TV
path.
theme tune I know is Trumpton. This is my favourite bit. This is actually the first video we've made since the Joey Landreth video.
Yeah.
Which might explain
This might explain it, definitely. Someone's going to have an amazing time editing this together. This is going to be... I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see how it comes out.
Sorry, mate. Yeah. Okay. So Monterey, Auto Wah, Vibe, Fuzz.
Fun.
Pretty bloomin' cool.
Yeah.
Actually, if you get to watch Danish Pete's a demo of it on the Andersons channel.
Yeah.
Does an absolutely awesome demo of it. And the Pro Guitar Shop one's really good as well. So, oh yeah, let's give Danish Pete a...
We need to get him on the show.
We do.
Yeah. A lot of love for Danish Pete. We're now with him year before last, and we had so much fun. He was such a great laugh.
Right, okay.
Okay.
So we've been through them all. You're still sticking with the Mojo Vibe, aren't you?
Yeah.
I like the Mojo Vibe a lot. I might have a little fiddle with my resistor.
Mm-hmm.
See, honestly, no alcohol, no drugs. It's literally 1:30 on a Monday afternoon. Let's mess around with the pedal order.
Okay. Yes.
Because
okay, very good.
So, Mr. Hendrix had his. I did cover this in the video I made on my own, but it'll be so much better now Dan's here. Hendrix had his after is Fuzz.
Right.
But the key thing about that, which you explained to me, which I hadn't twigged, was that what was key about that was that the Marshall was driving.
The Marshall was cranked. Yep. So
how about before we muck around with effects, let's turn the Fender off for a sec.
Okay.
And we'll change the gain relationship on the Victory amp here, so that it's not overdriving very much and then overdriving very more, and we'll see what that does to the sound of the Uni-Vibe.
Sounds good.
Is that a good place to begin?
Sounds good.
And then we'll mess about with the Fuzz in a minute. Yeah?
Yeah.
Do you want to play? Shall I play? I'll mess about with the amp.
Okay. Every time that amp just gets me. That is a killer.
Is that just the amp?
It's just the amp.
So I'm making the amp much cleaner. Do you want to stick the Fuzz into the Vibe?
Okay, so the Fuzz.
Yeah.
Into...
Let's use the Mojo Vibe as soon as you like it.
Alright, let's go. So Fuzz into the Mojo Vibe.
Okay, and I'm now going to set the amp up much dirtier in the front end. Let's see what happens. It's just a horrific mess. Keep going. So even though it is a horrific mess, what we were getting there with the front end of the amp boosted, i.e., and I'll just, if you turn the effects off for a sec, Dan, I'll just give you a reference to what that would have sounded like were there no effects. So this was the clean kind of sound. That's the amp with a lot of headroom set, and then this was the amp set with loads of gain. So what you were hearing there was the fuzz and the vibe going into a clean amp and going into much more distorted.
Yep.
And the high end relationship was
Vastly different.
vastly.
So good. That was just the fuzz on. Ah!
Wow, what a difference.
Yep, yep. Amazing.
That's fascinating. So I hope that comes. I say this all the time. I hope that comes across in the audio that is recorded. Didn't change a single thing on presence and treble.
Just the gain structure of the
Just the gain structure of the amp, and you heard how it went really dark and relight. So let's stick the fuzz before and after the vibe and just compare that. Can we do that?
We can do that. So if we go, here we go. This is the fuzz into the vibe. Listen for the difference in the top end.
So that was the vibe first.
Yes.
So the
vibe
vibe
into the
is
fuzz.
the vibe's going, and the fuzz is going.
But if I hit really hard, there you go.
Okay, so that was just to demonstrate vibe before or after fuzz and overdrive. Doesn't matter. It's whatever you prefer. Robin Trower uses his after.
Okay.
I think. No, Robin Trousers went to Robin Trower's house one day. No, I didn't go on this one, but I'll get it because this is Jamie Dixon telling the story. Robin Trower wearing.
Sorry, that was the name drop horn on behalf of Jamie Dixon.
Yeah.
Love that. All right.
Robin Trower's wearing these amazing trousers. So from that day forward, he's Robin Trousers. Anyway, so Robin Trower, vibe first, overdrive second.
Okay.
Typically, I wouldn't stake my life on it, but I'm pretty sure that's the way around it is. Hendrix, other way.
Okay.
So it's not like one's not better than the other, and as I hope we demonstrated, it really depends on how much gain you've got running in the amp. So, as always, try it both ways.
Mm-hmm.
There are no answers.
No, exactly.
What are there, Dan?
There are just better questions. There we go. That was fun.
It's been a long one.
It's been a long one.
Yeah, we're now starting to feel bad for Simon who's got to edit this.
It's great. Brilliant. Okay.
Yeah.
Before we go, quick thank you to everyone that's gone to thatpedalshowstore.com and bought a t-shirt.
Yeah, a t-shirt or a mug or a beanie or...
Oh, yeah.
What else do we do? What else are we doing now? Car bumper stickers. No,
There's some stickers with our rude heads on it.
There are. Anyway, yeah. Thank you to everyone who's bought something from That Pedal Show store. Thank you to our Patreons on Patreon. Actually, patrons.
Patrons on Patreon.
On Patreon.
Yeah. Actually, yeah. Massive thank you to you guys.
Helps
Awesome.
us keep doing
amazing.
what we're doing, and also, of course, to our exclusive preferred retailers. If you feel like buying something in the UK and Europe, andertons.co.uk. In the US, Rift City music.
Fabulous. Cheers, guys. Okay, thanks so much. We'll see you next week. Bye.